Welcome to today's meditation. Find a comfortable position and let your eyes close when you're ready. Before we begin, a brief reflection on today's theme. Reading is one of the few socially acceptable forms of doing absolutely nothing productive. You're just sitting there, turning pages, living in someone else's mind for a while. This is why reading feels peaceful. It gives your own mind a break from itself. You stop being you for a while and become the story. Today, if you can, read something, not for improvement or education, just for the peace of stepping out of your own head for a bit. Now let's begin. Wherever you are, let your body settle into whatever supports you. Notice the weight of your body, how gravity holds you without effort. Find your breath wherever it's easiest to notice. The coolness at your nostrils, the rise and fall of your chest, the gentle expansion of your belly. You don't need to change it. Just notice it's already happening. Let your attention move through your body for a moment, starting at the crown of your head. Moving down through your face. Your jaw, your neck. Your shoulders, your arms, your hands. Your chest, your belly. Your back. Your hips, your legs. Your feet. Now notice your breath. You don't need to overdo it. Just noticing, not fixing, not improving. Just here. There's something interesting about reading. You're just sitting there, absorbed in someone else's story, someone else's thoughts, someone else's world. And somehow, that's restful in a way that meditation sometimes isn't. Because meditation asks you to be with yourself, to notice your thoughts, your patterns, your resistance, to stay present with whatever's here. But reading lets you leave. You step out of your own mind and into someone else's. You stop being the protagonist of your own exhausting story for a while. This is worth noticing. How tired you sometimes get of being yourself. Not in some dramatic existential way, just the low-grade fatigue of maintaining your identity, your opinions, your worries, your responsibilities, your story about who you are. Reading gives you permission to put all that down, to care about entirely different problems, to experience emotions that aren't tied to your actual life, to think thoughts that aren't your thoughts. There's a kind of rest in that, a rest that's different from sleep, different from meditation. It's the rest of temporary non-existence. Notice if there's resistance to this idea. Some part of you that insists you should always be working on yourself, always present, always aware, always growing. But maybe growth also includes the permission to stop, to step out of your own narrative completely. Not to fix it or understand it or heal it, just to take a break from it. When you read fiction, you enter a world where your problems don't exist. The bills, the conflicts, the decisions you're avoiding. None of it matters in that world. You get to care about whether the detective solves the case, whether the lovers reunite, whether the dragon gets slayed. Problems that have nothing to do with you. Problems that will resolve themselves in 300 pages or less. There's permission in that. Permission to not be productive. Permission to not be improving. Permission to just be absorbed in something for its own sake. And here's what's curious. Society gives you more permission to read than to meditate. You can sit in a coffee shop with a book for 2 hours and no one questions it. But sit in the same coffee shop with your eyes closed for 20 minutes and people start to worry. Reading has cultural approval that other forms of rest don't. It looks like you're doing something, even when you're not. So maybe you can borrow that permission, not just for reading, but for all the ways you need to step out of your own story. For sitting and doing nothing, for letting your mind wander, for choosing peace over productivity. Because the truth is, you've been being yourself for a long time without a break. Your mind has been running your story, playing your role, maintaining your identity every waking hour. And it's exhausting. Reading offers a kind of mental vacation, not by escaping into fantasy, though that's fine too, but by letting you experience being someone else for a while. To feel what they feel, to see through their eyes, to live in their moment instead of yours. This is what meditation asks too, in a way. To step out of your habitual story, to notice you're not your thoughts, not your identity, not your narrative. But meditation asks you to do it while staying present with yourself. Reading lets you leave the building entirely. Both have value. Both offer rest. Sometimes you need to stay and witness. Sometimes you need to leave and wander. Right now, just notice what it's like to be here. Not reading, not escaping, not becoming someone else. Just being aware. Breathing. Present. Notice if there's a part of you that wants to be somewhere else, thinking different thoughts, living a different story. That's okay. That's natural. You don't always have to be here. You don't always have to be present. You don't always have to be yourself. But right now, just for these few minutes, you can be. Not because you're supposed to, not because it's productive, not because it's making you better. Just because you can. And when you're ready to leave again, when you're ready to pick up a book or a story or someone else's life for a while, that's fine too. You get to rest in whatever way you need. For now, just breathe. Notice the air moving in. Notice the air moving out. Notice you're here. Still yourself, still breathing, still aware. When you're ready, let yourself begin to return. Notice the sounds around you. The feeling of the surface beneath you. The temperature of the air. Let your awareness expand back into the room. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. And carry this with you. The permission to rest. The permission to step out of your own story when you need to. The permission to just be here when you don't. Thank you for practicing with me today. See you next time, because meditation should be free.